We are looking at FIFA 23 Heroes, and after EA made that mistake, there is no better time to go and make a tier list. You know what the mistake was? They gave out a 25k pack that said an untradeable hero. You opened the pack, it was tradable, absolutely destroyed the market. So that being said, this is underway. Starting off with none other than Yaya Toure. He is a must-have. I did a review on my channel with him, and he is absolutely phenomenal. Unfortunately, as I will have a look through prices in a minute, his prices have crashed down, and you're going to have to take some of these prices with like a pinch of salt, as it were, because we're going to have to see how they get on. But with his review, having this lengthy meta, he is an absolute crazy icon. So basically, we have a look at his card. You can see he's coming in at 1.1 or 1.2 million coins. And this card is seriously broken. You think about the first time we got Hullet as an icon. This card is very, very similar. Really, really good card. If we put a shadow on him, for example, or anything like that, he just becomes the most meta card I think I've ever seen in a game. They have got him so right, especially with this lengthy meta and doing those long power shots. He has to be a must-have. Moving on to our next one, and it's going to be none other than the new centre-back, Lucio. And I cannot rant and rave about this card or not. He is crazy good. If you're looking for that Serie A defender who's going to take you to the next level, this is the guy. Since I did a last tier on him with the defenders, his price has crashed massively thanks to that EA mistake. And again, he's coming in at 600k. I said if you got him for 700, it's a good price. He is now on like a special deal. He will go back up. I promise you that in price. Again, another shadow on this card, and you are laughing all the way to a 94 rated centre-back. Unbelievable. Now we are going to go move on to our next player in the must-have tier. And that is going to be Natale. Once again, another good year for Natale. Let's go have a look at his price. I've managed to play against this card quite a lot of times, and he is a problem. Just like every FIFA, they have got him completely spot on as well. And as you can see, he's coming in at 760,000 coins. He took a massive hit last night as well. As you can see, he was chilling around 1 million. Now he's sitting on this price. He's already got really good base stats, so we stick a hawk on him. He just becomes the absolute complete winger slash striker, and he causes problems. He is definitely a must-have. Moving on to our next one is another new addition to FIFA, and that's going to be Marchisio. And this card, again, is completely cracked. Let me find his price. If you want that box-to-box midfielder, he is definitely your man. He can help you out in so many ways. Get the open space that you need to, and he will be able to deliver as well. So let me just get his card up. The thing I find about this card is I can't believe how cheap he is in comparison to some others. 620k for one of the best box-to-box heroes you can have next to Yaya Toure. You could put a shadow on him if you want to make him more of a defensive. You can put a hunter on him if you want to make him more attacking, or you can put an engine just to make him really balanced. It depends what you want from him. He is so versatile, and at that price is an absolute steal. He has to be in must-have. We're going to move over now to our next must-have tier, and it's going to be, obviously, of course, Ginola. You can't have Ginola without this sort of list. Ginola, again, is a crazy card. The only difference this year is you can actually put him as striker from the start with the position changing. And he actually crashed to 1 million coins and instantly rebounded back to 1.7. You can see here all the way down, he was 2.1, he went down to 1 million, and then he went back up to 1,760. And if you put a hunter on him, you have got yourself a 91 striker. Definitely end-game striker. Definitely, there is no argument about it. He's just, again, phenomenal. Being 5-star, 5-star, sorry, 5-star, 4-star, and being in that league and links and stuff like that. Just a crazy card. We're going to move on to one of the new icons again now, and this is Brolin. And I looked at this card at the start and I was like, Swedish, Serie A, not the greatest, but I have used him a few times. I'm desperate to get a review out on him, and he is really good. For the price that he is one of the best Serie A strikers you can have. Reason being, his agility and balance is so high for somebody that's 5'9". You put an engine on him, and he gets that up to 91, and he is really good at left stick dribbling. At 200k, you are absolutely laughing. Such a good price for a card of that caliber. So he was in the must-have tier. Moving on, we're going to have ourselves a very good card here. Peter Crouch. I thought Crouch, when he came out, no one was going to use him. Waste of time. Absolute don't bother. But my God, was I wrong. Because they're lengthy, and just if you want to have fun on the game, Crouchy is a good move to have. He brings back so many memories from being in the watching football back in the day. He's 90k. You could definitely get him cheaper. He's been all over the place. Went all the way up to 200k. Crashed all the way down. Obviously, you're going to want to put yourself a hunter on him. And because he's so tall, once you learn how to do manual headering, you're going to be laughing with corners, crosses. Just seeing him on the pitch is quite funny as well. No offense to him. And he's just a very good card. Very, very surprising with this card and a lot of fun. That's why he's in very good. We are going to move ourselves down to do not buy. And our first do not buy card when I find him is going to be Campos. The cheapest hero there is. We're not even going to look on Footbin. Just a goalkeeper. Do you know he actually played as a striker at some points in the MLS? If they gave him that position change, why not? Would have been an interesting card to have. We might see it in Shapeshifters, but very, very unlikely. The next one to him is Ricken. And unfortunately, he is fodder. Not even the greatest tier fodder. But he's chilling around 25k. And I wanted to do a review on him, but he's just not good enough to really show off his skills, which is disappointing. And unfortunately, that is how he is in the game. The next one for me as well is Al Jabba. Do not buy. Did a review on this card, and because we have got ourselves a better hero, which I'll cover later, he's just a little bit too clunky, especially now with this meta and how FIFA's playing at the moment. And I do find him slightly disappointing. He's coming around the same price as Ricken as well, about 25k since this massive crash. That being said, let's move ourselves back up to S tier, and it has to be none other than Robbie Keane. Oh my, this card is a cheat code. If you don't know what to do with your coins and you're looking for a hero to maybe switch up your team and try something different, go get Robbie Keane. I reviewed him literally 3 days ago. He was extinct at 425k. He's now 272. He is so good. So good. We use a hunter on him as well, I believe, and he just becomes an 89 rated striker. If you need someone who can pass and link up play, he is definitely the go-to player. He's so collective, so composed. If you need him to play as a number 2 striker with the link up, he can. If you want to play on the last man, he can also do that. I was so surprised with Robbie Keane, and that is why he is in a must-have. That being said, we're going to move on to our next one, and it has to be another new hero into the game, and that's going to be Forlan. And Forlan was an interesting addition. Wasn't too sure on him before the game came out, and then obviously the meta came out with the lengthy players and how he feels in game. And because he's quite tall, and if you put yourself an engine on him, you get yourself a really good striker. I know he's only controlled, but for the price of 375k, for somebody this good, you are laughing. The reason he's so good, and this is a really big telltale sign, that all Uruguayan managers as of recording are extinct. You have to sell them for 5k or buy them for 5k. And it's just because of this man only and Valverde together. Them two linking up in your team, you are laughing. Moving back over to some other new ones, we're going to go to Harry Kewell, and he is going to be in must-have as well. I was extremely impressed by Kewell, and I can't believe how good he really was. I thought left wing, Prem, bit disappointing, but because he can play Cam and his price, it has to be a must-have. 264k, play left wing or Cam. You can put a Hunter on him to really boost up his stats, or a Hawk if you're worried about his pace, but his pace is the must-have. With that agility and balance, reaction, composure, with 93 finishing and 98 pace, he is an absolute monster on the wing. 4-star, 3-star, not to worry. Really good card. Overall, thoroughly impressed in the must-have. We're going to move back to some old heroes now, and we've got ourselves Cordoba. Again, he's in the must-have. You can see this list is going up and up. Cordoba, as always, with that partnership to Lucio, is just an absolute menace together. Lucio dominates the air. Cordoba dominates the ball on the floor. Both ridiculously paced, as you can see there. 275k. With a shadow, you give him basically a 92 centre-back. So you can have a 94 and a 92 centre-back next to each other. Absolute monster of a card. Again, they've got him completely spot on. Wish he could play right back, but we might see that in the future. But there we go. He's in a must-have. We're going to move ourselves down to OK now, and that is going to be, for me, Mostovoy. I presume his name is Mostovo. He is not the greatest again. They've got his card wrong. He doesn't feel great in game. If you're looking for a La Liga midfielder, he could definitely help you out with that. And you'd think his stats would suggest more. Having really good high dribbling, passing and shooting. 5-star weak foot, 4-star skill. He basically screams meta. But they are suggesting Deadeye, and I don't know about this card. It is very disappointing. As Deadeye makes him a 90 cam, he just feels clunky on the ball. I can't explain it. It's one of those cards that just don't translate over. But again, The reason he's in okay and not in fodder is because of his price. 54k, you can't really argue too much at that sort of price. Moving back to our list, we're going to go back to another new hero, old hero, new hero, old icon, JJ Okocha. He is an absolute machine this year. Maybe it was the move to put him as a hero, I don't know. But I've reviewed this card as well. Explosive. If you love skill, he is the go-to man. Very, very clinical. Great at linking up. 500k. When I reviewed him, he was extinct at like 700. Again, with this hero problem we've had. There we go. 770. He was around that price. Hunter is a definite. We did use a Hunter on him on the review as well. And he's just... If you need someone to unlock the door to help you attack, he is definitely your guy. I think it's a really nice move moving him to a hero because he's become way more meta for some reason. Less desirable and way more desirable at the same time, if that makes sense. Moving on again, we are going to go back to another card that was a hero. Sorry, was an icon, now is a hero, and that's Nakata. And he's going to go in very good. With these Serie A Premier League links that he will have, Nakata is a very good option. Problem being is, in the Serie A, we have a lot of good midfielders, and that has affected his price. But he's in very good and not okay because of his price. Really, really rounded. He feels very good on the ball. You can put Hunter or Engine on him. Hunter really boosts him up to more of attacking. If you want to make him more of a box-to-box midfielder or cam to open up space, go for Engine. And he comes in 89. He's just really good. Fantastic. Very good surprise there. If he's an icon, it's the same old story. But because he's a hero, there's something new about him. It just adds that addition. And that is why he is in the very good. We are going to move on to a couple more old ones here. We got Morientes, and I'm going to put him in fodder. Morientes, again, just doesn't translate. I think he's very clinical. I will be honest. He's very, very clinical. But you don't get that excited when you pack him. He's quite expensive for what he is, and I generally think that's down to the fact that the La Liga just don't have many good strikers. If you wanted to get a La Liga striker, go get Benzema for the same price. I promise you Benzema is way more clinical. And that's why he is on my tier list in that position. Is he a good card? Yes. Is he amazing? No. Are there better options that are probably the same price or cheaper? Yes. If you saw a hero and saw Spanish, you want to get yourself him more than anybody else. But unfortunately, he's just not quite cutting the butter. On to the next one's going to be Dempsey. And he's a not buy for me. Donovan, we'll get to him later. Dudek, again, he's okay. He's fodder. Nothing too crazy there, to be honest. Very, very disappointed this year with Dudek again. Goalkeepers seem to be extremely inconsistent and make a lot of problems. Kewell is also fodder. He could be okay, but Bundesliga have crazy defenders. You can get yourself Klosterman, who's really cheap. He kind of does a similar job. Kewell is massive, obviously, in game and also very, very good in defense. But he's just not exciting at all. Cahill is one of those ones as well, who's okay. Premier League, very, very good at finishing. He got an absolute price crunch yesterday as well. I think yesterday you could pick him up for 30k, even lower. Will his price go back up? I'm not sure. But because he's not new, he's in that list. The same for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well. I'm going to put him in okay. These are very, very good strikers, don't get me wrong. But I'm trying to base this off how many strikers we have in certain positions and much more. So, and the price as well, and what you can buy for that price. Abedi Pele, he is going to be in a must-have. Again, Abedi Pele, very, very clinical. Opens up the space that you need. Coming in at a normal price as he would. I think he's around 400 or 500k, but I will double check. But he is also one of those cards that you just know what you're getting with him. Gets the job done. Yeah, he's coming in at 475k. Hasn't changed much from last year. The only difference is you can play left mid if you want him to, or centre forward. 4-star, 4-star. Just a really fantastic card as always. With the hawk on him on top, makes him a 90 rated card. And he's just very, very good. With the La Liga lacking cams, really. Obviously, you can move some players around to put him there. He is just a good option because of that. That is why he's in a must-have. Moving on to our next one is Ljungberg. And he has surprised me this year. Very, very good. Ljungberg has, for some reason, become very good in this FIFA. Last year, he was really, really disappointing. Obviously, used to be an icon a long, long time ago. Now he's a hero. Last year, very, very disappointing. This year, they've done not too bad with him, considering he's 72k. You put yourself a engine or a finisher on there and you're laughing. If you want to put him as a finisher, more of a winger. Engine, more of a left mid sort of link-up play. And I was very, very impressed with this card. I think they've got him right. His body type is very good for this FIFA. His link-up play is very good. And much more. That being said, we're going to move on to Milito. And Milito is okay. Very, very cheap again. Serie A, having that Brolin's made him go down. If we didn't have Brolin, he'd be very good. But we have Brolin, who has just shot him away, basically, and so, so good. Then we are going to move on to a controversial one, as Carvalho. I want to put him in very good, but I'm going to put him on okay, and hear me out. He's a fantastic defender. When we get another card of him that moves to a different league, he will be a must-have and very good. It's just because he's in Liga Portugal. I know chemistry is not that important, but we have to use that when we're reflecting on these cards. And unfortunately, Kewell moves there. Yes, he's lengthy. Yes, he's very, very good at defending. He has the right stats, the right work rates. But just because of his league, he is there. Moving on to our next one is going to be Marquez, and he's the same. I like Marquez, but he's in La Liga where we've got Rudiger. We have got Kounde, we have got Alaba, we have got Milito. We've got so many good gold centre-backs in that league, and I've probably missed a few more off as well. And that is why he's there. Maybe if we can put him... I know he's got CDM as his secondary position, so if you want to play him there, you can. And the other reason he is there is because we've got ourselves Mascherano, who should be in must-have, but I'm going to put him in very good, and hear me out. I think Mascherano, if his card was in position as a CDM, as a base, and again, you can change him there, but to be very picky in this, if you put him as a CDM, he is one of the best CDMs in the game. But because he's centre-back normally, it's just going to reflect negative. We're going to be very, very harsh on him. He should be a must-have with the CDM card. But look at this card as a CDM. You put yourself an anchor or an engine on there. You've got yourself an extremely rounded CDM. Or if you wanted to, you could put Shadow on and really boost him. He's a 90 rated CDM. This card as a CDM is scary good. Unbelievably meta. But the only reason he's not in must-have is just because he's a base centre-back. I hope you understand on that one. Then we have got a disappointing card now. It's going to be Cole. I thought Cole was going to be explosive like his shapeshifter. Might be down to me thinking that. I'm going to put him in okay. And Cole again, when he gets another card later on, he'll be fantastic. We are lacking in right wingers, but that is why he is so expensive for the card that he is. Cole is coming in at around the price of, I believe, what price is he? About 229. And for 229, you can get yourself Dembele around that price. I know he's not Premier League. I know he's not English. But having a 4-star, 4-star, it's just a bit lacking. In terms of chemstyles, they're saying artists, which is very interesting. And it honestly depends. If you're a Chelsea fan or a Joe Cole fan, by all means, go buy him. But for me, he just feels the exact same as he did last year. There are always better choices around in other leagues that you can get. And it's just a bit disappointing with that. We are now coming up to all the new heroes left in the game. And we're going to start with the Saudi Arabian. This card is surprisingly very good. The reason why he's so good, if you don't know anything about him, is he starts as a winger, but you can move him to a cam or a literal striker, I believe. Yeah, striker, cam, or right mid. Yes, he's hard to link. I will admit that. You might need Al Jabba as well to help him. All heroes do get full chem on their own, but if you wanted to help him out in other leagues, you've obviously got that choice. But look at his price. 219 for a card that plays cam or even striker. You put a finisher on him, and it gives him 99 finishing with 94 pace. Him as a striker or a cam with 4-star, 4-star, he is screaming meta. Being 6 foot with that high agility and balance as well, with the composure. He's very, very rounded. Very, very underrated because of his nationality and probably his name, because many people don't know who he is. I don't know who he is, to be honest, in terms of professional level. Then we're going to move on, for me, as a do not buy, and that's going to be Capdevila, and I'm really sorry for anyone that likes him. I think he's the most disappointing hero we've had because, hear me out on this, 1 is being his price, 2 is his league, and 3 is his nationality. So he can play left back or left wing back. He's currently coming at 100k, but you can literally go buy Mendy, who is completely broken in this game, for the same price, and he's got 5-star weak foot, 4-star skill. Mendy, where's his 3-star, 3-star? Yeah, he has the pace, and if I packed him, I'd definitely try him out. But I've already done tried to do a review on him, didn't like him at all, didn't put the review out. That's how bad I found him. Again, it's a personal preference, but I'd be very disappointed if I got him. I think they've got the Spanish heroes wrong this year. I think Capdevila should be way higher than that, same as Morientes, but they've just messed them up. We are going to move now to the Eredivisie, and it's Dirk Kuyt. He flew up. He is very good. Very, very good card. Nice addition to see him in the game this year. Dirk Kuyt, very, very clinical as a cam. Really opens up the space, especially with all these special cards we get to Eredivisie as well, like the Player of the Month, the storyline cards. You can see he's just a very, very rounded cam. The only thing that lets him down not being in must-have is this 3-star, 3-star. People saying put a shadow on him. I can see why, just to make him more box-to-box if you wanted to. In terms of attacking, you probably want to put like an engine on him, or maybe even a finisher to really boost up those stats. Or you could even go Hunter if you really wanted to boost up his stats. But he's just a very good card, very fun to use. The only reason he's not in must-have is because of the 3-star, 3-star. We're going to move on to Ji-Sun Park, and Ji-Sun Park is also very good. I really enjoyed using this card. I'm about to do a review on him very, very soon. I've played him quite a lot already, or with him already, sorry. And I just find him really good as a winger. He was phenomenal in real life, a real worker, worked really hard in games even, sorry. And this card is just fantastic. 3-star skill, so if you're not very good at skill, you're going to be relying on his weak foot. But if you put a hawk on him, he becomes almost a perfect winger. Not the greatest finishing, but it's more about his passing and his balance and agility, his composure. As well as having 95 stamina for a winger. He's going to be playing the whole game. You don't need to sub him off. And it's just nice to see a card like that in the game. We are going to move over to Donovan, and Donovan's going to be in very good as well. Compared to Dempsey, Donovan is unbelievable if you were to compare them just together. And again, he is very, very clinical on how he works. I'm hoping that they do move him to the Premier League at some point in the future of FIFA, and he will go really expensive. So you can see he can play right mid, cam, or striker. And if you put an engine on him, it just really balances him out as a complete card. With that agility balance, maybe his composure could be higher, but he's got fantastic finishing, and his passing is very good for a striker. I really like Donovan, especially at the price of 83k. You cannot really quibble too much at that. Then we're going to move on to Papin. Papin is broken. I don't care what anybody says, he is broken. You put a hunter on him to boost up his pace, you are laughing all the way to victories. I did a review on him, and this card was completely broken. I used a hunter on him. You probably don't need to, just because of his finishing. So if you wanted to, you could definitely put an engine on him as well. But you just need to push up his pace. Everything else is the job. His finishing is so good. If we look here, 95 finishing with an engine on. He's an 87. He's a 90 rated striker, and he's only 166k. This card is crazy good for that price. And it's the same for his other partner, if you want, is that Govou. If I pronounce his name wrong, I apologize. But he is an absolute menace as well. So good. Much more expensive than Papin, I have to say. But there is a reason being. So we have a look at his card. You can see he's just got way better pace. Almost the same shooting, but his composure is much better. In terms of chemstyles, again, another engine on this type of card. And you're really boosting up his dribbling, his agility and balance, and his passing. And this card is 100% a must-have. Again, French is taking over FIFA as always. And we're going to move on to our last two now. Our last two being Voller or Voller. And he's going to be in a must-have. And let me explain why. So Voller or Voller is very, very crazy. I thought he was going to be an icon because of how good he is. He is one of the most expensive heroes again for his position. I think that's also because the Bundesliga is lacking. Yes, he has 3-star skill but 4-star weak foot. But if you put an engine on this card, you don't have to worry about his skill. He's got such good agility and balance for somebody. It's 5'11". Extremely good acceleration, sprint speed, great dribbling and composure, and most importantly, 92 finishing, 93 shot power, as well as having 81 passing short. So he can link up, he can sit on the last man, and he can finish. And we're going to end up on Smolarek, and he is literally so close to being a must-have, but he's going to sit there. And the reason being is because of Voller. And I'm really, really sorry for anyone that's a fan of him. I thought Smolarek is a very good card, but he's just lacking with the 3-star. Again, he's so expensive because of Bundesliga lacking in options and up front. Put a hawk on them is what they're saying. 89 rated. Really good card as a striker. Amazing agility and balance. It's just his weak foot. And I'm noticing again this year that weak foot's so important. And that is the only reason that Voller tips it in front of him. But let me know if you disagree with anybody in this list. It's an open conversation. All comments are welcome. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed today's video. And I will catch you in the next one. See ya.